Hi everyone, this is Sam from Gamereactor, and we're talking about Injustice 2 with Brian Goodman. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks for having me.
No worries. Injustice came out not a long time ago, but quite a while ago. What made you want to revisit Injustice as a series?
Well, first off, there's always a stable of characters that people wanted to see or want to see return, and so we're taking that opportunity to absolutely introduce some new characters into the mix. We've already introduced a few over the past couple shows with Supergirl, Gorilla Grodd, Atrocitus, Blue Beetle, and there are more new characters coming. So that was one of the first motivations, but also, obviously it was a very successful game for us, and one of the biggest things was we had a very successful story in that game, and wanting to revisit that story in that universe and continue telling the story of sort of the Injustice universe was a really cool opportunity for us. So we absolutely want to revisit it.
Sure. Fighting games often take different approaches to story mode. How have you approached the story in Injustice 2?
Similar to what we've done in games past, it's sort of a linear story. We are doing some new things with it this time around, which we are excited to talk about. Unfortunately, we are not at the point where we can be talking about that yet, but structure-wise, it's going to be a little bit different. There's going to be definitely an opportunity for players to go through the story mode, and we're definitely going to leave them wanting to go through it perhaps a second time. So.
Since the first game's been released, DC has released a lot in terms of especially cinema with Batman vs Superman and things like that. Has that influenced Injustice 2's game design at all?
Influenced is probably a strong word. Of course, we live in the same world as the movies that have come out. It's provided us a great opportunity just to have so many more of these characters sort of out in the public and more public knowledge of those characters. It's allowed us, again, to be creative in how we're telling our story. One of the things that made the first Injustice game so special was that we sort of played with how the characters were portrayed. Sorry for those of you who haven't played the first Injustice game, but we were able to get Superman as sort of our bad guy in that story. So playing with how these characters are portrayed, with the movies kind of coming out and being in the public mind, that really has helped us sort of really formulate exactly how we want to tell our story as well. So it's absolutely an influence.
What changes could people expect from the sequel? That's a very broad question, but what are the big changes?
Well, the biggest change is our gear system. This is a new system that is basically introducing an RPG mechanic into the fighting genre. You are awarded gear after pretty much everything you do in this game. After every fight, you're going to get a gear drop, and that gear are basically costume pieces that you can suit up specific characters in. Every character has hundreds of pieces that you can get new boots, new helmets, weapons, chest pieces, and as you gear up, it actually affects different stats of the character. It can affect your offensive power, your defensive power, your health, your special abilities. Everything that your character can do can be affected by this gear, and so you get to make a lot of choices as the player, not only in how the character looks, but also enhancing the different ways that they play.
What modes are on offer in Injustice 2 apart from the story mode?
Well, yeah, there's story mode, and then we're going to have a number of single-player modes, really trying to round out our offerings for people who enjoy our games as single players, which we'll be giving more information on down the line. And then, of course, a whole suite of online modes as well, both competitive and potentially some cooperative modes as well online.
With Injustice 1, obviously the fighting was a very popular aspect of it, and people liked the style that it went for. Is there sort of, what has been changed in terms of the fighting itself, and what has been kept the same, what has been important to keep?
Well, the fighting has been fairly consistent. Obviously we're always looking to improve upon our fighting engine and the fighting mechanics. We've taken a lot of cues from Mortal Kombat X in terms of the speed of the fight and the engine, of course. What's returned is the environmental interaction. And we're always looking to go bigger and better with a sequel. So there's a ton of environmental interaction. The multi-stage environments where every environment is, at a minimum 2 different levels that you can transition between in the midst of the fight. So those things have made the return. A lot of the mechanics are going to be similar in terms of the fighting mechanics, with 3 main attack buttons, the character power as a unique character power for every character, whether it be a buff, character-specific weapon, or power. And then, of course, the supers are returning. Yeah. We have all new supers for every character, regardless if they're new or returning characters, and those are always very popular.
Cool. Going back to environments, what are some of the environments that fans could expect from this game?
We will have new environments. They'll be, we'll be releasing them over time. I believe so far we've shown some that existed in the first, so we have yet to show any of the brand new environments. I believe we showed Metropolis and Gotham and Atlantis, and they're all brand new, obviously, newly designed with new interactables and different design elements within each, but we have several new ones coming down the line. We're excited to share those with you in the future.
Cool. And how far is Injustice 2 along, and when can fans expect it?
It's coming out in 2017. That's the amount of information I can give you. It's going to be on Xbox One, PlayStation 4. We're diligently working on all aspects of the game right now, and should be coming sooner than you know. We're very excited to get out there.
Cool. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.